Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a massive shift in digital strategy, something that every leader needs to have on their radar: how to win in the new age of AI-powered search. Look, this isn't just another marketing chat. It's about future-proofing your brand's visibility and, just as importantly, protecting its reputation. So let's start with a number that should make you sit up and pay attention. In just the last year, referral traffic from AI engines, think ChatGPT, Perplexity, to major websites has jumped by an incredible 357%. This isn't just a slow burn, it's a flat-out explosion, and it's creating a whole new channel for traffic that you just can't ignore. But here's the other side of that coin, and this is crucial. In that exact same time frame, the power of being number one in a traditional Google search has taken a huge hit. Click-through rates for that top spot, they've plummeted by almost 35%. So that prime real estate that used to be a sure thing is, well, it's fading fast. What we're witnessing here isn't just a little tweak to the algorithm, it's a seismic shift. The old playbook, the one we've all relied on for the past 20 years, it's becoming obsolete. And frankly, that poses a massive risk for any brand that doesn't adapt, and fast. Okay, so to navigate this new world, we've got to start by understanding the new gatekeepers of information. We're talking about generative engines. They are literally rewriting the rules of how people find things online. And that brings us to this new acronym you're going to be hearing a lot about: GEO, or Generative Engine Optimization. You can think of it as the next evolution of SEO. The goal isn't just to rank in a list of blue links anymore. No, the goal is to become a trusted source that's woven directly into the AI's answer. And this diagram really shows you the difference. See, a traditional search engine is like a directory. It gives you a long list of options to check out yourself. But a generative engine, it's more like a personal concierge. It reads all those different sources for you, synthesizes the information, and just gives you a single direct answer, citing its sources along the way. Now, this new way of doing things is amazing for the user, right? It's fast, it's efficient. But for you as a brand leader, it creates a huge challenge. The way these engines decide what to say is basically a black box, and that lack of transparency introduces some pretty significant new risks. And this really is the multi-million-dollar question every leadership team should be asking right now. How do you position your brand to win a game when you don't actually know how the points are scored? It's a tough spot to be in. So your strategic focus has to change. The old world of SEO, that was all about things you could measure, right? Keywords, backlinks, trying to get that #1 rank. GEO is a totally different ballgame. It's about showing a deep semantic understanding of a topic and proving your experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, what Google calls EEAT. The goal isn't just to be on the list anymore, it's to actually be part of the answer. And this quote from SEMrush just nails the central danger here. In this mad dash to figure out the AI, you could end up creating content that sounds like it was written by a robot for a robot. And that can absolutely destroy the trust you've spent years building with your actual human customers. And that is precisely why the only long-term winning strategy isn't just GEO, it has to be ethical GEO. It's a framework that puts trust first, and it turns this whole black box problem into, believe it or not, a real competitive advantage. An ethical GEO strategy really stands on 3 main pillars. First, you've got to respect your users' autonomy. That means being transparent, not manipulative. Second, you have to actively work to minimize harm. That means hunting down bias and misinformation in your own content. And third, the real foundation of it all, reinforcing trust by simply being the most honest, accurate, and helpful source out there. Okay, I know this can sound a little abstract, but it's not just theory. This stuff translates into a really practical, actionable playbook that your teams can start using like tomorrow. So how do you do it? You build these ethical checkpoints right into your content process. I'm talking about systematically scanning your content for biased language. It means having actual human experts, not just AI, sign off on accuracy. And it means creating feedback loops so your real users can tell you when something feels off. And guess what? The data completely backs this up. Research shows what these new engines love: content that's full of verifiable proof. We're talking hard numbers, citing other authoritative sources, and including direct quotes from experts. And that old trick of just stuffing your pages with keywords, yeah, that's not just useless now, it can actually get you penalized. This visual really says it all. Look on the left, here's a great source of information that the AI just completely misses. But on the right, after applying these ethical GEO principles, that same source is now featured prominently in the AI's response. It goes from being totally invisible to being influential. That is the power of this approach. So, what's the bottom line? What's the business case for doing all this? It's not just about feeling good. It's about building a tangible, defensible trust advantage in a very noisy market. And that advantage shows up in the numbers. We're seeing studies that show a really well-designed ethical geostrategy can boost your content's visibility in these AI answers by up to 40%. I mean, come on, that is a serious lift in a brand new channel where people are actively looking for solutions. So if you take one thing away from this explainer, let it be this. Don't think of ethical GEO as a limitation or a set of rules you have to follow. It's not. It is the single best strategy you have to drive real growth, to manage risk, and to build a brand that's going to last in the age of AI. It's your competitive moat. Which leaves us with one final and I think pretty critical question for you to take back to your teams. In this new AI-driven world, what are you really building? Are you building lasting trust, or are you just chasing the next click? The path you choose is going to define your brand's future.